What's up, YouTube? This is jayywanng. This is probably my fourth take here, but I'm here for a case review of the Incipio. I think it's called the NGP TPU plastic case for the iPhone 4S, and the Amazon Basics TPU plastic case for the iPhone 4S. They're both TPU plastic cases, which I guess is kind of the new the direction that these manufacturers are going. TPU plastic, I guess, is a kind of a lightweight. It can be very discreet, can be very thin, rigid plastic that kind of has the feel of rubber, but at the same time doesn't have the I guess the thickness sometimes that these rubber cases have. But yeah, these are very flexible, but at the same time rigid. So when it comes to fitting your phone, it won't lose shape or become like or thin out or kind of. I feel sometimes like rubber cases, you could rub them and then particles start to come off. But this is very rigid, durable, and retains shape. So first we got this NGP Incipio case. You got the branding right here, camera eyelet here, sleep button here, headphone here, rocker here, and then the opening for the toggle. Here you got the access to the adapters. And on the Amazon Basics case, you got the same thing, except this time the sleep/power button is exposed, so you'll be pressing the actual button and not going through a piece of plastic. Here, headphone, and here the same thing with the volume rocker. You'll actually be pressing the volume rockers and not going through a piece of plastic. And here bottom you have the adapters. So while I have this case in hand, I'll go over this one. You have a very distinct circular design that kind of emanates from around the Apple icon. So I feel like this case is going to be a lot less discreet. It's definitely going to bring up a lot of conversations just because it's kind of the more flashy of the two cases. The camera hole here is a little bit bigger, and so is so are pretty much all the holes on the case are a little bit bigger. So I think maybe it'll be easier to access, but at the same time maybe the bigger holes will lead to deformity in case after using it for a while. But I'm going to slip it on right now real quick. In this case, I feel it's a little bit harder to put on out of the two, just because I feel like the plastic here is a little bit thicker and also a little bit more rigid, and maybe I feel like sometimes when they molded the case, they didn't mold it too well, because you kind of feel a certain prickliness around the sides here. That's one gripe I have about the case. Another gripe is because of the bigger holes in this case, you kind of have a harder time. I know it sounds weird, but you actually have a harder time reaching the buttons because of the bigger hole and kind of the higher raised surfaceness, I guess, of the case. You have to dig a little deeper to actually press the buttons on the phone, and here you actually have to dig a little deeper for that. And the toggle switch, you actually it's actually a little more difficult to me. The bottom here, like I said, the hole is bigger, so I guess you'll be able to fit bigger adapters, but at the same time here the lip comes up a little bit. So I feel like whenever I'm putting it in my pockets or just holding it in my hand, I can sometimes feel this lip, and it gets kind of annoying. As you can see, I can kind of press it down a bit. But I mean, if you like the design of this case and you kind of like the clear, because you can kind of see the logo, you can see iPhone. If you like that and you don't mind the Amazon Basics case, the Amazon Basics logo, then this case is for you, I think. It's a pretty nice case. It was definitely worth the price I paid for it. I got free shipping on Amazon, so it's actually a pretty good deal. The second case, of course, is the NGP by Incipio, and I'll just put this on real quick. And I feel like this case is much easier to put on. See, it took me about 3 seconds or so to actually put it on, much faster than the other case. For this one, you get plastic covering the sleep button. You got plastic covering the volume rocker, and the holes that are in the case are much smaller, much more tight around the thing where they're protecting, which I feel is better because you get a case that is much more fitted, a case that feels more protective, and also the covering of the sleep button and the volume button kind of gives you get a bit more security when you're using the phone and doing stuff. Also, when you press the buttons, it's actually very tactile. You actually feel like you're pressing it, and it's not like in the way. It's not in the way by the plastic or anything like that. Um, as far as texture, the feel of the phone, the grip, it's a kind of a matte plastic, so the feel is nice in your hand. Sometimes you forget there's a case on here because of how thin and how it feels. But this is the more discreet of the two. I feel like this case has more rounded edges, so it's a bit more smooth, less edgy, and that also goes for the design as well. You have a really discreet Incipio logo here, and that's pretty much it. I think if you're the type of person that likes a bit more minimalist case, but also offers good protection, then I say the Incipio NGP is for you. As for me, out of these two cases, I think I prefer the Incipio NGP, only because I feel that I don't really like the idea of having these circles here emanating from the icon, Apple icon, because I feel it's a bit obnoxious, I think, and I actually like the feel of this case a lot better. I'm not sure as which one's more protective or not. You can look on reviews on YouTube for that and just kind of do a comparison. But I just want to take the opportunity to share these two cases in one video tonight. And so yeah, these are the two cases, Incipio NGP and the Amazon Basics TPU plastic case. Check them out on Amazon or wherever. I highly recommend both of them, but I more so prefer the NGP. Alright, thanks guys, and tell me what you think in the comments below.